Hello everybody, this is Iced Blood. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII. It's been a little while since I've updated this series. Sorry for the wait. Life got in the way. I'm actually pretty excited to be coming back to this one just because I recently uncovered something that I wasn't aware of. I've talked on a few episodes about the reception of this game and being the main reason why I'm doing this. So it's always gratifying to me to find out that when people like it. And I found out that one of my favorite YouTubers, you'll find him on the list of other channels on mine labeled under my predecessors. I claim no affiliation with these guys. They're just the ones who inspire me to get started on this. Super Genius. He's one of my favorites. He does a lot of RPGs, a lot of classic stuff. And he really likes this game. So that's like really exciting to me because, well, he's got good taste. No, all joking aside, I don't mean to shit on anyone else's opinion. I get it, and I'm not going to go any further than that. I just wanted to mention Super Genius is awesome. I think he's great, absolutely fantastic. Go check him out. Check out anybody on that list of YouTube channels. They're excellent people. Anyway, back to the game itself. This episode is not going to be all that particularly plot heavy or anything. Just some getting back into the swing of things, getting used to everything again. We're going to have some fights, we're going to have some exploration, get some treasure, that kind of stuff. All the standard RPG fare that everyone should be used to by now. There's a lot of things about this game that are actually deceptively similar to its predecessors. It's got the flashy graphics and the change to the way things work. And you can say, oh, the auto battle is definitely new, and that's one thing that presents a problem. But I think a lot of this is just window dressing. It's this game involves maybe somewhat less strategy on the cannon fodder. As an example, the guys that were with this big one here, with the Executioner, the Rangers, I think they're called, they were simple. They died in 3 minutes, whatever. They're no big deal. But this guy here, a little bit more involved. Now, here's my theory. There are plenty of enemies in the older Final Fantasies that are just like that. They're that simple. There's nothing really involved with killing them. That's where grinding becomes a thing, because they're easy to kill, and you just go into battle and you hit the same button over and over and over and over again, because they're too easy to bother with strategy. They're simple. There's no need for any of that, right? So, my theory is that a lot of the stuff that makes this seem like an action-oriented RPG is window dressing. It's graphic. It's graphic-based. This is all just turn-based combat. That's all this is. There's a lot of running around and a lot of flashy magic, but it's no different from one of the old school Final Fantasies like 6, 7, some of the older ones. It's not nearly as action. You want to talk about an action RPG. Look at things go old school again. Secret of Mana, one of the games that I grew up with. Excellent game. I used to think it ripped off Chrono Trigger before I realized that they were both made by the same company, and it's kind of hard to rip off yourself. But look at Secret of Mana as a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That's an action. You move around. Combat is not dictated by your position. You know what I mean? Or rather, it isn't dictated independent of your position, I suppose. You do have to place yourself in the right spots. You have to do the right things. And there's plenty of other action RPGs like that, where position counts, where you have direct control of your character. You don't have that here, even though it looks very flashy and there's a lot of running around. None of that is your control. It's not even a situation where, like Secret of Mana, for example. I don't know why I'm bringing it up today. Apparently, I'm in a retro Super NES mood this morning. Your AI companions move around independent of you, but the character you choose to control, you have control of every movement they make. We don't have that here. This is very much just a graphical improvement. That's all it is. It's still just a turn-based RPG. Regardless of what anybody says, that's really all this is. And I, for one, appreciate the hell out of that because, okay, yeah, it's turn-based, and I love turn-based RPGs, but let's face it, a lot of them look boring, right? The combat looks boring. I think no matter what you have to say about this game and how it's done, it doesn't look boring. I mean, let's be honest here. This is some pretty cool stuff we're looking at right here, you know? I have another running commentary, I suppose. Here's another thought. Lightning, right? She's not, I don't know what I want to say. Like, she's very, very popular in Japan from what I hear, but not here in the States. I think that's the dichotomy we've got going on. She's very popular in Japan, which would explain why she's in everything, right? She got 2 sequels, because 13-2 and Lightning Returns, the latter more obviously than the former, are all about Lightning, right? She's the crux of the plot. And then you've got, there was an event when Lightning Returns came out, where Lightning actually showed up in Final Fantasy XIV as well. I really wish that I had been recording at that time. I was not, because that would have been awesome to catch, I think. It was just some simple little events where you'd see Lightning every so often battling monsters, and you could go and help her, and then you'd get special items and stuff. And you could get actual costume gear. For the ladies, you could dress up like Lightning, and for the guys, you could dress up like Snow, and Snow being my favorite character in this entire franchise. Like, that sounded awesome. I didn't actually end up getting that, unfortunately. I hope they bring that event back at some point or another. Maybe in an anniversary event for the 13 series, I don't know. But, like, okay, so Lightning is obviously popular with her creators, right? Square Enix is big on promoting Lightning. She's a big deal to them. Or she's just a big deal with the Japanese fan base, but not here. Not here. She is very much lambasted, I would say. Here's my question, though. Let's take a look at Final Fantasy VII with Mr. Cloud Strife, the main character, and like probably the icon of the series at this point. To bring it back to 14, one of the veteran rewards, I think it's for like 270 days. I might be wrong. It might be longer than that, because I think that's 9 months. And yeah, that's not it. It's longer than that. It's quite a bit longer than that, actually. The most current veteran reward, so the one you get for having the most time clocked in, is his outfit. Cloud's outfit from Advent Children. Remember the movie? If not, check it out. Even if you don't like 7, it is a beautiful bit of CGI work. The fight scenes are glorious. Seriously, check it out. It's awesome. And if you are a fan, anyway. So yeah, you get Cloud's outfit from Advent Children if you sign in to, or if you have enough time clocked in on Final Fantasy XIV. So Cloud is an icon. Cloud is ubiquitous. Cloud is synonymous with the series. Everybody understands that. Now, I was never a big fan of him, but take my opinion out of it, he seems to be very popular. Now, this could be just me taking in the wrong sources from the internet in general. That is very, very possible. But I find it interesting because Lightning and Cloud are kind of the same person, at least on the outside. Now, the thing is, if you dig deeper, I think that Lightning is the fundamentally better character. Now, this is, again, my opinion. Because, well, I won't get into 7's mythology here, because for all I know, I might end up playing that one on this channel someday. I mean, it is on Steam, so it's easily recorded for me. I don't need a capture card. And right now, that's kind of important. But, you know, I mean, I think that Lightning is a more rounded, more interesting, more realistic character than Cloud is, yet she is, like, well, she's hated. And I gotta wonder, is that sexist? Is that what that is? I don't know. I'm not gonna try and, like, force a debate or anything here, it's just something I wondered about. Because it happens, you know? I think, you know, the modern society likes to think that it's, you know, gotten past the problems of the past, you know, and we've enlightened. Have we? I don't know. That's just, you know, a thought that occurred to me while I was playing this today. I wondered about that. Like, is that an issue? Is that what we're looking at here? I could be completely wrong. This could be entirely off base. I'm not gonna, stand on a soapbox and say this is definitely what the problem is. It's sexism, because, that's not how I operate. But it's just a thought that occurred to me, and I think it's an important thought to have, because even if this is completely, off, if I'm completely off on this, even if that's true, it's still something to really keep in mind. I think the worst thing you can do with a social issue is ignore it. So there you go. So there's my 2 cents on the dichotomy of Cloud versus Lightning, which is somewhat ironic considering their names are so similar. So anyway, soapbox over, rant over, etc., etc. I keep telling myself I'm not going to be talking about the popularity or reception of this game every time that I sit down to play it, but it's just the main thing that crosses my mind. I get the feeling it's because the folks who don't like this one are very, very vocal. And unfortunately, me being the masochist that I am, I often find those sources of information, and they make me angry because I adore this game and I think it needs a lot more exposure. Anyway, this is the one bit of plot we're going to get today, I think, so let's take a look at what happens. Or not.
Stay close.
What was it like to record those lines for Vanille's actress? I got you, Lightning. Oh, good. Here we go. I think this might just be boss time. Alrighty then, well, here we go. Never mind, I guess there's not going to be much plot, just a little bit of setting the stage, I suppose. Here we go. What are we fighting here? The Garuda Interceptor. I believe Garuda is the name of a summon/mythological figure in the series. One I'm not particularly familiar with. I'll be honest with you, I've played plenty of the games in this series. I've played, let's see, what have I played? I've played a bit of 3, 4, and 5. I've beaten 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Watched 12 get beaten, and then I've beaten this one. And I played a bit of 13 too. I own Lightning Return. And then, of course, 14 is my longest running series so far. Well, that's not true. It's coming close, though. Resident Evil 4 had, I think, 26, 27 episodes. And, Final Fantasy XIV's in the 20s. And I definitely think that it's going to overshadow it eventually, because, well, Resident Evil's over. Even if I do another run, which I might, spoiler alert, I might go back to RE4 and try a professional run. I think that might be fun. In any case, yeah, 14's going to overshadow, I think. And definitely this one too, actually. This one's going to be long. I can tell already. It's an RPG, standard, 30, 40 hours at least. Quite a bit longer than RE4 was. Anyway, let's see. What are we doing here? It seems like the strategy involved with a lot of these bosses in the beginning is a little more involved than standard combat, but it's not all that difficult. Basically, my strategy is Relentless Assault whenever I can afford it to get the stagger gauge up. Once stagger goes all the way up, I switch to Try Disaster. If I need to, I've got 2 other ones that have a medic involved, just so I can stay at the top of my health, because you might remember that boss last time. Well, not last time, but a little while before. That killed me. So I need to make sure I stay on top of the health problem. And the medic is very, very good at that. So right now we're in a section of the game that's easy enough that we don't need 2 medics, thankfully. But having 1 is certainly useful. So yeah, this fight's not all that difficult. Basically, it seems to come down to whenever the big attack happens, make sure you're topped off on health. We don't have the Sentinel role because Snow's off on his own. We will unlock that eventually, either when we get Snow back or when certain roles are unlocked for the other characters. I think I may have mentioned all the different roles for the paradigm shift system will be unlocked for everybody eventually. The issue is who's best at it. Okay, so like Snow is by default the best sentinel, at least from what I remember, because he has the most invested in it. He has the longest or the biggest like crystal grid, or I forget what it's called now. But he's most suited to that. Lightning's the best commando. I think Hope's the best synergist. Or it might be that just the different characters have different, like, abilities that they get for the specific roles. Oh, look at that. Okay, so Synergist is open to Saz, and Saboteur is for Vanille. Alright then. There you go, that's what I'm talking about. Eventually, throughout the game, the different roles will unlock for the different characters. So that's what we're looking at. Okay, so, boss over. That was not that hard. I didn't do very well, but it wasn't that hard, so I'll take it. But I think, for the most part, this is going to be the end of the episode. Hope you didn't mind me getting on my soapbox. That seemed to be a big thing that I tend to talk about with this series in particular. Just because, I mean, you know, until we get a little deeper into the plot, there's not much to talk about until plot happens. You know, the actual gameplay, I'll admit, is not that particularly involved. So.
Yeah, knowing our luck, it's probably missing an engine.
You shouldn't be so negative.
Yeah, you got a chocobo chick in your hair, dude. Come on. Come on, Saz, lighten up. Anyway, alright, I think this scene is going to end with a save your game. So that's going to be it for this episode. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully, you know, it was at least a little bit entertaining or maybe thought-provoking. Either way, I'll see you next time. So, bye-bye.